So, Mazola, very sad news coming out of Sundowns. We had Goldfinger here on the show. I think it was early this year, late last year. And, he insisted. He said, Andile, when we come back from the ad break, please ask me, because we're talking about Zola Mahobe and how he brought him into Sundowns. We're telling his story of how he got to Sundowns and how he got to be Goldfinger. And he says, please ask me about me. Ask me about my future. Ask me about how I'd like to be remembered. And we asked him, and he answered that. And I can't wait for this week. I know Brahmashatsi is going to be a part of that show. We're gonna pay tribute to an amazing man. What else do you have?
Yeah, look, it's sad news. I mean, I'd become very close to Brae as well, because in my 15 years as a journalist, I was a Sundowns I've been a Sundowns correspondent for various media houses, and he's one guy that I got to know, very well. And condolences to the Shakwane family. But on top of that, we've also had quite a busy football weekend. I'm not too sure how Timmy packaged this, because from the under 17 to the Soweto Derby to Safa CEO resignation and the press conference today to Orlando Pirates signing a new goalkeeper.
So let's get straight to what the coaches had to say, starting off with Athazwane.
Winning cups with Kaizer Chiefs is my main. As much as we were in a season where we wanted to obviously get things right first, bring in the right players, find a way of playing, and also get the right chemistry within team, and look at ourselves as two now. When we move forward, how do we beef up and start challenging?
That's Athazwane speaking about winning cups being his mandate. He goes on to speak about how he will learn from this.
Going to the semi-final of MTN 8 obviously gave us hope, but we had the opportunity to seal the game again here at FNB. We ended up playing 1-1, and even today is more or less the same. Semi-final, we had the opportunity to kill the game off early, and it wasn't to be. And as I said, I believe going forward, we'll take it one step closer, and we'll learn from this.
I'd love to hear what you have to say as a Kosi Nation. I know a lot of you were feeling very indifferent over the weekend. Give us a call on 086 rather, 000216, WhatsApp on 060 This is what Jose Riviero had to say for Orlando Pirates. He says that he thinks that Pirates should be in finals regularly.
It's nice to be in the finals, and I think that Pirates, should be regularly in every final, so I'm not doing anything exceptional. And now we have to go to the final with all of our capacity and concentration and do everything in order to get it.
I'm pretty sure that's what many Buccaneers are looking and wanting to hear from a coach who says we should be in every final.
Yeah, no, look, Andile, I've been very impressed with this guy. He doesn't always look like a happy guy, but he's a positive coach, and there's an ongoing debate now about coach of the season, which we've touched on here a couple of times. But I always say it, it's a pity, because you only look at the DSTV Premiership 30 games, whereas perhaps it's time to look at it holistically, because he's had a phenomenal season.
Timmy, the producer, tells me there's so many of you voice noting us speaking about Arsenal. Hey, it's okay. Bring it. The season is nigh. Let's go for it. It's like 24 after the hour 6. Let's get into the news, because we want to hear from the referee, because I want to hear from the referee about many of the decisions that were made during the derby in particular. But also there was one or two against was Kukune versus Stellenbosch as well. I mean, a penalty call that I thought should have been. So we'll have conversations about those. If you have particular incidents that you'd like to send to us, please send them via voice note on 060-552-7303. That's our WhatsApp line, and he will tackle those. We'll also take your calls sooner than normal, because we'd love to hear your thoughts on the derby. Kaizer Chiefs, season is over, effectively.
Done.
They can't win anything else this season, which means the next time they can win would be next season, which adds another year now to what's been happening.
Drought,
it adds another fiscus year as far as football is concerned. It could not be another year via the normal January to December of a year, of course, when you look at when the season resumes and the top 8
it's a full 8 years now, because the last time they won a trophy was when Stuart won the league and cup double in May 2015. So it's exactly 8 years.
Yeah. So we're going into the next year now.
Yeah.
We're going into the next year.
The 9th year.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Safa, what's going on?
A lot. Andile, remember SABC Sport rather broke the news that Tebogo Motlanthe had handed in his resignation on Friday night. And subsequent to that, myself and Velile Mnyandu were privy to, some of the behind-the-scenes discussions and a leaked resignation letter, which stated that CEO Tebogo Motlanthe was, among other things, unhappy with being given a directive that he has to cut Safa staff by half. Safa have around 60 employees. He had to cut that by half, given that a year or so ago, during the COVID pandemic, he had overseen the Section 189 process with retrenchment at Safa House. Now he was being given a directive to do it yet again, given that some departments within the federation were already stretched to its full capacity. Therefore, subsequent to that, on top of that, Tebogo was then also had said he had cameras planted in his office. You can imagine.
What?
He had cameras planted.
The CEO
had cameras
in his
planted
office
in his
at
office
Safa.
at Safa House, monitoring his every movement. He says he requested these tapes, but they were not given to him. But
Was he aware that there were cameras?
He was made aware at some point, because in that resignation letter, he says he then requested these tapes to be given to him. But instead of the security company giving them to him as the Safa CEO, they chose to give it to the Safa president of Overberg, who is Mr. Tankiso Mudipa.
So whose instruction was it that there must be cameras planted in his office?
I mean,
does you know?
Yeah, I do not know. It does not. It's not clear on that leaked resignation letter. Which, by the way, today there was a press conference. Top table was the now new CEO, Lydia Munyepao, the former CEO Tebogo Motlanthe. But Tebogo Motlanthe stood or sat on the top table for all of 5 minutes, only to, in a way, look like he was denying the leaked resignation letter, and then immediately thereafter walked away without taking questions from the media. So read into that what you will, but we have it on good authority that the only thing that he did not mention on the top table was that the letter was fake news. The only thing he mentioned was that it did not have his signature. He did not call it fake news. He just said the letter that's circulating to journalists in the football fraternity did not have his signature. Moving on from that, we then asked Denis Jordan about the high turnover at the association with CEOs, because since he took over as president in 2013, we've had Dennis Mambo move on. We had Russell Paul, who joined the LOC in Qatar for the World Cup. Motlanthe was acting CEO for 8 months before he was appointed in 2021, and we now have Lydia Munyepao. On top of that, Gay Mokwena, who was a member of the National Executive, was acting CEO for about 3 months. And this is what the president of the association had to say about that.
And you must know our term started in 2013. I don't think it's many CEOs. You must count CEOs in other organizations. I'll give you the list of the CEOs and how many they are. They are close to 18. So I just want to deal with that issue. All of the CEOs won. The term and contract expired. The others got better offers. And the other one was temporary in any case. That was a decision of the NEC, only 3 months.
You can hear there he's defending the fact that there's been a high turnover.
But isn't Denis Jordan's stance always a defensive one?
Of course. I think the president, I mean, today he was, in my opinion, he was quite defensive, over a matter. I mean, has the CEO resigned or not? Yes, he has resigned. We were at the press conference to try and discuss the reasons why. We were not given the reasons why. We were told it's personal reasons, but he wishes the association well and he's still available if they need him going forward. I don't know what that means. I would have liked to have both Denis Jordan and the now former CEO sitting there taking questions with regard to.
But that's telling, innit?
That's
the
telling,
fact that the two of them could not sit there and have
and
a
that
question and answer.
He walked away after 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's telling of what's happening at Safa.
Exactly, but he does go on to explain, especially in detail, about why Dennis Mambo left the association several years ago.
Dennis Mambo worked for Safa for 13 years. I don't think that's a short time. Dennis Mambo's contract ran out in 2018. Dennis Mambo at that stage had reached retirement age. The NEC took a decision that we must accept and that a retirement age must kick in. So I hope that explains it. Then we had Russell Paul, was the COO, became the CEO.
People will ask questions about how old is Danny Jordan. Remember,
isn't he 71?
Remember that he, on the other hand, is an elected president. Therefore, he's not a permanent employee of the South African Football Association.
You can't be seeing retirement ages and others.
Whereas Dennis Mambo was an employee of the association, and therefore, according to the policies and statutes, he had reached retirement age. Fair enough, we'll give it to the president, given the constitution and how all of that is structured. But moving on to good news now, because the Safa situation is a bleak outlook of our football at the top level at the moment. But celebrating the under-17s, who we needed calculators to determine whether they'll be through to the next round of the under-17 AFCON out in Algeria. And we now know that they will play Senegal in the quarterfinals, and they are getting closer to that World Cup spot. And this was what Coach Duncan Krawi had to say.
But the permutations became very complicated after South Sudan was suspended, and meaning the third place teams or the third place team needs to be calculated somehow. But if that wasn't the case for South Sudan being suspended, then we would have been through after our victory against Zambia already. But of course, the boys and all of us are over the moon, and we're looking forward to the encounter against Senegal in the quarterfinals.
Well, congratulations to Coach Duncan and his boys. We know that former Bafana skipper Aaron Mokoena is also in camp as part of the technical team. It will be phenomenal. I saw your tweet over the weekend, Ma, about Siyabonga Mabena. Now you see
Sundowns
what the fuss is about.
Who Sundowns weren't releasing, according to Safa, who, according to Sundowns, they were just keeping him because he needed game time. And we all wondered, what's the fuss? Because he was picked without having trained and played with the under-17s. He goes there, and even other coaches see him as a big star.
Look, there are international scouts from all walks of life at this tournament, looking for the best next thing. And I would be surprised if Mabena keeps playing in the Premier Soccer League over the next 2 or 3 years. I would imagine in a year or so, Sundowns should try and facilitate a deal for him to go abroad. He is just that good. Our final story is
Speaking of that good, because I reckon this guy.
You are a huge advocate.
I've been saying this.
You've been singing this song.
Beginning of the season, he was the PSL's best. Well, best keeper. When you
without
look
a doubt.
Without
a doubt. Melusi Buthelezi is, I'm told the deal is all but done. Put pen to paper. He's off to Orlando Pirates next season. He becomes now the third player from TX Galaxy to leaving the club next season from the 1st of July. Remember, we broke the story with Given Msimango signing a 4-year contract to go to Kaizer Chiefs. Tseho Fatsonyama, the left back, is on his way to Cape Town City, and now goalkeeper. They are essentially losing their, their what do they call it? Their spine. If you consider Buthelezi, Given Msimango, and left back Tseho Fatsonyama, and this is the club's funding model, one would say. If you remember that interview that I had with
I'm not sure if it's always been, but it definitely is now.
Yeah, it definitely is now, and the chairman has confirmed it, that it's part of their funding model to say, look, if we get good players and we can develop them and get them to be at their top level.
Yeah, but he can always come back and say Lebasa and use those examples, which is nothing new. So maybe let's give the chairman that. But what do you think? Orlando Pirates signing what I think is one of the brightest sparks. I mean, we're speaking about why he's not part of Bafana at the beginning of the season after he had played about 10 games. I think it was about 10 games. He was really brilliant in the goals for TS
that was because he got injured. I mean,
he got injured after,
missed 10 games if you add the 2 Nedbank Cup games in the earlier rounds of the competition. So by virtue of that, he had to recover. And TX Galaxy have the second best defensive record behind Mamelodi Sundowns, and he's part of the reason why.
And while he was still there, they were right there at the top. They were right there. Let's go to Navig now. We've been waiting for this moment. It's exactly 18:35. Taking your calls in about 5 minutes because we want to hear from you as far as the weekend that was. I see somebody already not happy with the clips we played from Athazwane on Twitter here and saying that it's just not a good enough excuse. Not happy. Let me read it verbatim so that it doesn't come from me. Athazwane's reasoning says Abdul Jabbar James is so flawed considering that Riviero comes from abroad and didn't know anything about South African football but still won a cup and second in the league at the moment. We don't like excuses. The man failed, as same as what Hunt did. We can't be learning now. Tafik?
Yes, ma.
What's a derby? What moments you want to go through?
On the derby, let's start with the good ones. Yeah, good substitution number 6. Some people were confused as to it's 5 substitute. Why do they make substitution number 6? By law, it is allowed when you play competition matches that when you go to extra time, you can use substitution number 6. So it is allowed. That's a good one. And then the second one is...
give the ref all the easy ones. All the normal things. He got a substitution right. I mean, okay.
We're clearing the confusion.
Okay, next.
Yeah. The next one is the sign used by the referee when he calls for paramedics. Yeah, so that sign is not pirate sign only. For emergencies, it's also used. So the referee was correct in using the sign. So those who say, no, it's a Buccaneer referee, it's not a Buccaneer referee, it's Abongilo Jack Tom in Cape Town, who is a police officer who uses some of these signs to call.
So the cross and skull and bones is what the Pirates supporters do. Yes. Also means emergency, call in the emergency services.
Exactly. And if you check, TP Mazembe use the same signal. There's another team in Zimbabwe, Bulawayo. They use the same sign. So it's used everywhere, even for emergency.
Okay.
Right. We also look at, there's a good decision on 105 minutes where it looked offside. The player in an offside position did not interfere with play. So that was good to see from the referee team. We go to the difficult one.
Okay.
Yeah, this.
So it's good and difficult, not good and bad. Okay, it's fine. Let's go.
Yeah, we had a situation of a difficult decision where hands were above the shoulders from a free kick, and then it hit the hand. So the player took a risk by putting his hands there. So when you put your hand in that position, you're singing hallelujah inside the penalty area. The referee is supposed to hallelujah you with a penalty. So unfortunately, that was not given.
So Chiefs should have had a penalty then.
Yes, because the hands were above the shoulders.
What do you think happened? You've watched it, you've looked at the positioning of the ref. What do you think happened?
It's pure, I think the referee missed it. Let me put it that way. Because the player turns, so it hit somewhere at the back. But when we apply slow motion, that's where VAR comes in.
Now he's talking about VAR. Before he said overall had a good game.
Yeah, no, by one decision does not mean you have a bad game. But
well, that's a decisive decision.
I mean, a penalty given there in that moment changes the game.
Yeah, Andile, we have seen coaches fired in England where VAR intervened and corrected the decisions. So that was a wrong call. Let's all agree that a wrong call was given.
Wrong call there. Yes. Next.
Next, it's on the derby. On the derby, I think I'm done. Unless if there are questions from your platform that might need some more.
We'll get to those. Yeah. So that's the derby. That was the only moment. Mazola, you didn't have any moments in the derby?
No, I don't think so. I think those are, the ref covered it all. Although I think
there was a moment I saw. What was it? There was a moment. I think I even wrote it down. So let me find it here because I was not sure there.
Oh, you want to show? Let me go through the others that I've seen from other matches. We have Gallant and Sundowns were for the 2-minute violent conduct by Mudau,
yes,
where he hit someone with an elbow.
Yes.
That was uncalled for. A red card should have been issued to Mudau for that. Unfortunately, the referees decided to talk to them instead of applying the loss of the game. So there the referee was lenient, unnecessary. You need to apply the loss of the game irrespective of who is playing or not. And then the other one...
I think there was in the Skukune match. Wasn't there a fight that broke out there?
I think they were able to deal with it. The other one for Reina's 15 minutes, there's a penalty appeal that we'll have a look at it because I haven't had a chance to look at it. I wanted this load shedding, but I'll have to look at it at Soccer Zone so that we digest it nicely and give an accurate decision.
All right, let's take a break. When we come back, it's all up to you now. Give us a call on 086 0002160. How do you feel about the stories Mazola gave us? Safa, what's happening there with, of course, the CEO having resigned, and there's a new CEO in Lydia, former SABC sport analyst there and former Banyana player. She's taken over as CEO. You've got Dangan Crowley in the under-17s, Mabena shining bright there. Orlando Pirates have signed a new player in goalkeeper with TS Galaxy, Melusi Butelis, who's been absolutely fantastic this season. The referee says, yeah, one bad decision in the entire derby. That's all he saw. And that was the penalty appeal that should have been given to Kaizer Chiefs. All right, so let's go to the calls. Malcolm saying there's so many. Let's get straight to them. We're going to start, I can't see that far, but I think it's Lesibe out in Neguruleni that we're going to be starting with. Lesibe.
The weekend that was, how are you?
Hey man, there's a lot to talk about, so let's get straight into it, Mr. Neguruleni.
Yeah. I'm very disappointed when Mr. Hangwani there. You know,
of course, Lesibe.
I'll tell you why.
Tell me.
It's unfortunate that the referee missed it, but Zakir as well, who's the top lineman, was just nearby side.
Good point, yeah.
You see, I see there's a propaganda there, double standards. Again, I want to know what will happen to Mudau, because what is done is unsporting and it shouldn't be promoted by any means for players to be doing what Mudau has done. Luckily, Andile, I'm happy with my team's performance. For Caleb, I still maintain, I hope you are recording, he will not make it to my Sunday league team. He will be the one that will be collecting water bottles and cones after the game.
Why?
Caleb is not a PSL material. I don't know what happened for Chiefs to sign him. They wasted the substitute in bringing him on. We were playing better until he came on. He shouldn't have been brought. He shouldn't even been signed by Kaizer Chiefs.
All right, thank you so much, Lesibe. I appreciate it, Ref.
Yeah.
He was there. Yeah. If the ref misses it, it's his job to see it.
FIFA introduced VAR.
Not in South Africa.
For cases like this, referees are not going to get everything. As you can see, even in the World Cup, everywhere, even
But Atavik, that one, man, they're the things that I agree with you on, to say you can't see everything.
Yeah.
But a hand that far up in the box.
Remember, the player turned.
Yeah, but then that's for the ref not to see.
Yeah.
But what about
even
the official?
Even the assistant is this side. He could not have seen. So the referee might find he's focusing on the players inside the penalty area. If you check, the referee position himself that side, Zakele this side. So those are decisions where it's difficult for referee to see. But at the end of the day, with us using video, we are able to see that here there's a case to answer.
All right, let's move on and take more of your calls. Of course, we're going to be jumping to voice notes a little bit later on as well. So do send them on 060-552-7303. Terribly sorry, machine has gone a little conga, so I'm not going to know who I'm speaking to. So hi, welcome.
Hi, Andile, how are you?
Hey, sorry, man. I don't have the machine in front of me, so I don't even know who I'm talking to. Introduce yourself.
Hi, Andile. I'm West. I'm from Tembisa.
West, talk to me.
The great weekend that we had.
Ish, what a weekend it was.
With too much drama. I'll start with the Soweto Derby. Andile, I find it very challenging in terms of our refereeing. There's an incident that happened, wasn't mentioned. I think it was CBC.
Which incident? Timmy T, the producer, was telling us about it. What happened?
The incident that he went pound to pound, I think he went with the ever missing striker of Kaizer Chiefs. So,
which one is that one?
I'm assuming he's talking about Caleb or Ashley Dupree.
That's what I'm wondering. Which one?
No, the one that was playing the derby. He defended two balls which he was supposed to bat. So I think they went pound to pound 50-50, and CBC went down and he actually pulled the ball. And
with his hand, and he threw it out.
Correct. And the second incident is the one. You're moving from number 5 to the striker line, and when you get there, you push another player. The intention says straight, you fight him. And he didn't get any. I think he only got one caution there. So it's one of those questions that we have. If we could have.
Well, let's get straight into it. Let me ask him because he's here.
Yes, a better decision could have been taken. And I must say, Pirates played well. They defended well. I must give an applause to the coach. His first season is the only team that has a trophy. We must give it to him.
The only two of the Soweto Derbies, I get what you mean, of the Soweto teams, because Sundowns do actually have a trophy. But let's go to the ref on that one. You saw that moment. CBC falls after they've gone into it, and he takes the ball with his hand and he throws it out.
Yeah, I saw that incident.
The ref missed that as well.
The referee gave a free kick.
Yeah, but
Chiefs.
yes.
So that was correct for the referee to give a free kick.
But that was on the incident, right? That was on the two of them going pound to pound. That was on the incident.
Yes, next to the line.
And then the ball handling?
Yeah, the ball handling, you remember we said for a yellow card to come out, there must be a breaking or stopping a promising attack. So the question West must ask himself, did CBC stop or break a promising attack?
If I handle the ball purposely, deliberately, doesn't matter whether
that is not a yellow card offense.
To handle the ball deliberately.
It's an infringement. A free kick will be given.
But no yellow.
But yellow card will only come out when you stop or interfere with a promising attack. It means someone was supposed to receive that ball, you stop it, then yellow card will come out for you. So free kick will be given. Agree? Infringement, West, infringement has been committed. But for yellow card, handball, you must stop or interfere with a promising attack. That is law.
That's what he did.
No, there's no player who was there to receive that ball. It was just rolling. The ball was not passed to any player.
Sunong, out in Rustenburg. Hi, Hakit.
Good evening, Andile, the principal and the super Jane. How's it?
Hey, man, the three not always so wise, man. Talk to us.
Good, Sunong.
Okay, I've got two things. Number one, Kaizer Chiefs, I think, us being loyal to Asa Zwane is the same thing that we've been complaining, saying Zwane's got favoring these young players from his NDC team. Even if when they're doing mistakes, he doesn't take them out. He keeps on paying them. As the fans as well. Even if Zwane is doing a lot of mistakes, we still want him to keep him on and on and on. He spoke about he's got some mandate to win cups. He didn't mean nothing. But yet, no one is like, we still need this guy more and more. He failed. He gave him a fair chance, Andy.
So you think this season was enough for Arthur? You've given him a fair chance and he's proved not good enough is what you're saying. But I'll then bring it up to you to say, imagine an Arthur who still got the possibility of finishing, amongst the top 4 teams in South Africa. He's made it to a semi-final twice in cup competition whilst playing with those young players. Dupree is not an old player either.
Yeah.
Dupree is 23 years old.
Yeah.
Samkelo Zwane, a young player. Shabalala, a young player. They brought on the 18-year-old the other day as well. So this is a very young team. Why not let him next season, with these boys now having experienced one full season, perhaps continue?
Give him Simango
coming as well.
Yeah. No, we need to mix a young blood with experience, and we give this guy. It's more like 4 competitions: league, MTN, and the net bank, and then simple second place so that we can go to Africa. But nothing. He failed. You give him a fair chance.
All right, so out in Rustenburg Fields, they gave Atazwane a fair chance. Let's go to Tulani. Tulani is out I think it's in East London, if I'm not sure. But firstly, here's Kabelo. Kabelo's in Pretoria. Kabelo.
My gentleman, I want to greet you.
We greet you too, Aga.
There's few things I want to mention now. As Kabelo GP, I love my team so much. I want to remind people, when we first have Compeller, they say Compeller is not good for Kaizer Chiefs. We had Solinas. They say Solinas is not good. We had Gavin Hart. We had Basta. We had everybody. Even now, Kaizer Chiefs supporters, they are still singing the same song. Zwane is not good. Let me tell them something. We have been beaten. We are used to beating. Even now, Barre can beat us. We are used to it. The only thing that we as supporters should do is to support our coach. We need to rally up behind our coach, whether we lose or not. They gave Sahile a chance. I think Sahile is one of the players that was showing character on that day. He might have missed the opportunities, but if he scored them, they would be safe. Remember when they were talking bad about Dupree? Dupree is missing. Now he scored 1 goal. They are talking bad. Us as Kaizer Chiefs supporters, we are the one who's letting the team down. Today we are shouting he's good. Tomorrow we are shouting this. This guy is using young players. Like Duba. Duba is 18 years old. Yeah. Look at the Mdeduzi, Shabalala. He's very young. Look at the Zwane in the middle field. He's still young. So what is it that we want? So we need to support the coach, and we have to forget about this. We carry on. Now he has two seasons as the head coach. We need to change him again. Bring who? After Tuesday, we don't want him again. We must stop changing. We must support him. We give him another season, we will try again. That is from me, Kabelo GP. We need to rally it. We behind our team. We need to support the players. Saila made a mistake, but we must put him again because he's one of the players that will show character. We will win the game with him.
Kabelo, out in Pretoria, appreciate it. Says, Give Zwane an opportunity. Let him do another season.
Yeah, a lot of what Kabelo is saying makes complete sense. The biggest issue here is what Coach Arthur promised beginning of the season, that the opposition that come to FNB will suffer and they will make the Kaizer Chiefs supporters happy. I think perhaps the expectations were not measured. Obviously, the club did not come out to say, no, this is a rebuilding season. And Coach Arthur
from the get-go,
and Coach Arthur does say, look, I'm coach of Kaizer Chiefs. My mandate is to win trophies. But that's not going to happen in the first season of a 3-year contract.
Then let me ask this to the Menikosi nation that's listening now.
Yeah.
Is he at least playing the kind of football that you enjoy, that you like, where you can say, we can play this again next season and hopefully to a winning point? Let's go to Tulani out in East London. Tulani.
It's Tulani from Green Village.
From Green Village. Etabwe.
Yeah,
no, easy. Talk to me.
The weekend that was.
The weekend that was.
Hey, Pravik, now there's no VIR, Agna penalty. Yamkaya 85% like Uchachile. My second point, hey, Pirates, man. You know, I used to call a lot and complain about Pirates, structure. But now, hey, my guy, you Tabang Munar is giving that team a good structure, Tabang Munar. You know, when you have a disciplined defensive midfielder who does not lose shape, always on position. I'm very impressed with Tabang Munar.
Let me ask you this quickly, Wanachilani. What do you make of the signing of Melusi Buthelezi?
The keeper, yes. Good keeper, talented keeper, energetic, not lazy. My problem with Sipochai. He's got the signs of being a good keeper, but I can see he's lazy. So we need a keeper that is not lazy, who's energetic, reflexes. We need that. But with the team, the structure, Paseka Marco, the left back, right back, CBC, playing that final pass from the back, a short number 5, but he can go up and win all the balls aerially. The Pirates, they're coming good. They're not there yet, but they're coming good.
Appreciate it. You know what the other thing is, that that first goal, Saleng was not passing there.
You think he was scoring?
He was definitely going for a shot there.
I don't think so.
He was definitely going for a shot there.
There was a deflection from the keeper.
Okay, from where I was sitting, I thought he saw Kermit having placed himself in a good position to just tap it in.
Definitely, but I mean, how did you see it? Let us know. Let's go to Temba. Temba is out in Soshanguve. Temba.
The weekend it was, Andile.
Hey, the weekend that was, my brother. Talk to me.
I love you, Andile. I love you, the principal. I love you, Mazola.
Every single Monday, man.
I love you, Metro FM, for saying Black is back.
This you know. The weekend that was. Talk to me.
And to the Orlando Pirates family, I like to say, Kia! Oh, Kia, Pakachu. Uko, Kumakoza, Uwazile, Ukuzala, Wazaleli Ayon Chuku. Abazali, the two, Pakwazile, Ukuzala, Bazala Mapagani.
I went.
Abaye, Boda, Abazangu Ukuzala, Bazalo Maminya, Jalo. Bazale Africa, Basminye. Bazali MTN, Basminye. Bazali the Bank, Basminye.
Thank you very much, Temba.
You killed it.
That is such a goober. Majoro is in Soweto. Majoro, talk to me. Bualen Natle. Hey, give me a hand. Wautwala, Bualaron.
Hey, I Kitabile that. Kimametil Parani and Mara. Nakile machisa related that one. Okasi tabeli nto usoidlala game usoidlala wena wa celebrate. Awuthabisi ukudlala le Pirates. No. Akibuhambi that
No. I mean, Kaizer Chiefs did celebrate. They did celebrate when they saw that they're playing Orlando Pirates. It was something very unusual. Many felt it was disrespectful. And Orlando Pirates have now sent out a very dope video as well, reacting to that, which I enjoyed. I thought it was great banter between the two. So, yes, you are more than within your rights to say that.
You can't do that in that.
No, I mean, I think they can. I mean,
regardless of who you'll be faced with.
Yeah.
You cannot do that.
I see nothing wrong in celebrating a fixture that you believe is a big fixture.
Oh, thank you so much, man. We appreciate it. Every single Monday they come through. It's the three not always so wise, man. This fight, we're taking to TV now because he's got the law book in front of me and he wants to show me that you can handle the ball all you want and it's okay. That's Davik. I'll see you in a bit, yeah?
Yeah.
Mazola, big breaking stories. Thank you so much. I mean, that Orlando Pirates one, I think, good signing.
Yeah, look, I mean, the agent obviously has denied that it's not happened, but, SABC Sports, Super Geno sources.
Listen, if Super Geno says so, then that's what it is.